Welcome to another edition of Discover Marshalltown, and we are in the atrium of our YMCA. Used to be the Community Y. Carol Hibbs is with us. Carol, what do we call it now? Is it just the Marshalltown Y, or?
You know, you can call us the Marshalltown
Whatever.
Y. However,
what's
technically,
okay.
We are the Marshalltown YMCA YWCA.
YWCA.
We are two organizations affiliated with both the National YMCA and the YWCA. So you may call us the Marshalltown Y and you'll be fine.
Okay, I got to get used to that. I still want to call it the Community Y. Carol Hibbs, your official title?
I am the CEO of the Marshalltown YMCA YWCA.
That's a long business card. That is.
Yes.
Okay, how long have you been here?
I have been with the Y for 21 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, and I have done a multitude of jobs here at the Y. I started actually when all of the operations of the Y was in the original building on this campus in South Center Street, not the downtown, older downtown Y.
Okay.
You know, some of our folks watching may remember when the YMCA and the YWCA were in the same building on the south side of the courthouse in what is now the parking lot of Wells Fargo Bank.
Okay.
But in the late 1960s, the operations of both the YMCA and the YWCA moved to 705 South Center. And then in January of 2004, we expanded that campus and built the Horn Henry Center. So now we have two buildings here on the campus. And I started prior to the construction of the Horn Henry Center back in 1996 as a program director for the YWCA.
Wow, that's
Yes.
a lot. Okay.
I'm older than I look.
No,
Yeah.
I don't mean to imply that in no way, shape, or form. This is a fantastic facility. You want to talk about some of the things that are in here in case people have never come here. And of course, we invite you to take a tour, right?
Of course.
But
Yeah.
if they were to come here for the first time, you would take them around to various facilities, various rooms. Why don't you talk about some of those?
Well, certainly. Let me describe the campus
Yes.
a little bit.
Okay.
So the nice thing about the Y now here in Marshalltown is we have two buildings, and so the Cultural Center building is home base to a lot of our youth programs. So it's home base to our summer day camp program, which serves preschool age and school age children. And then it's also home base to our dance program. And of course, in the summertime, Miss Kimmy has a lot of dance camps and dance classes going on. So that's a very, very busy place. The new building, which we call the new building, actually was constructed and opened in January of 2004, the Horn Henry Center. In this building we have, of course, two pools. We have the recreational pool and we have the natatorium, the Linda Bloom Natatorium, which we host large events at. And then we also have all of our health and wellness, and our gymnasium events are all here as well. So if you're looking for health and wellness activities or aquatic activities, typically you would come to the Horn Henry Center. If you're looking for youth programming and those activities that are going on as part of a structured youth programming day, you would go to the Cultural Center.
Okay. There are so many services offered here, like you just touched on some of the youth, but you also have some great programs for seniors as well.
We do.
Yeah. You want to talk about some of those?
I'd be happy to.
Okay.
We have a special group here at the Y. You know, one of the nice things about the Y is we are a volunteer-led organization. So as part of our volunteer force here at the Y, we have a group called the Fine Living Council. And they are a group of active senior citizens who really advise us on programs and opportunities for seniors. And so what they do is they help plan some of the events that go on here for seniors. So for example, we have our Health Forum series that happens throughout the year, and that's organized and planned by our Fine Living Council. That's a free public event. We also have a card party group. They meet and play cards actually and get together with that. We have a line dancing group for seniors as well. So lots of different activities for seniors in addition addition to your health and wellness activities, a very, very busy senior program is our Senior Aquatics program. We have water classes, especially warm water classes for those that suffer from joint pain and arthritis. So those are very helpful to our senior citizens. And then of course, just general exercise, health and wellness classes, especially geared for seniors.
Now I know where I'm going to come when I'm of age, so to speak.
Well, we can also help prevent some of those those conditions if you join us prior to that.
And that's what wellness is all about. I understand that. Now I've known in years past that you've taken trips around the state or even gone outside the state. How is that a whole thing facilitated?
Well, we do have a couple of trips going this year. However, we have scaled back our travel program. That was one area that we had some staffing changes. Our travel director was Rita Hummel,
right.
And she has retired from the Y and is enjoying more free time now, especially with her grandchildren. So we have scaled that back considerably. Okay. But we do have lots of different activities and special events that seniors have the opportunity to participate in. And a lot of seniors are now pretty savvy on Facebook. Yeah. And so if you're wanting to know kind of the latest of what's there for me to do here at the Y, then certainly on our website or on our Facebook page, you'll be able to keep up with the latest things going on for seniors.
Okay, so it's a pretty active, actively updated, frequently updated Facebook page, which is good because I mean, like you said, there are so many seniors out there. I know many, especially a lot that listen to me on the radio, that they are always, on Facebook.
That's true. That's true.
It's very, it's very interesting. Technology has come a long, long way. So we are in what part of, I call it the atrium, but where are we, the main entrance? I mean, behind me is a pool.
Yeah.
But this would be where you come in and you're greeted and you present some kind of an ID?
That's correct. You're in the lobby of the Horn Henry Center.
Okay.
And we are very blessed here in Marshalltown to have this facility. It is made possible because of a bequest left by a longtime Marshalltown resident, Virginia Horn Henry. She left her family's estate to the Y, to the YMCA and the YWCA. And we found out about that in the late 1990s. Our volunteer board at the time went through a master planning process. We did a lot of community focus groups. We did community surveys to really find out what kind of facility would best serve Marshalltown. And so the result of that planning is the Horn Henry Center, and we're in the lobby of the Horn Henry Center. One of the things people may not realize about Virginia Horn Henry was that she was a gymnastics instructor, actually wrote a college textbook for gymnastics on tumbling and stunts. So when we were looking for a way to commemorate her and her gift to the Marshalltown community and the Marshalltown Y, one of the things we decided to do was a sculpture. So we commissioned
the one behind me?
The one right behind you.
Us?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we commissioned an artist to do a sculpture that would depict Virginia's passion for gymnastics and tumbling and kind of free-form motions. Yeah. So that's what this sculpture represents.
You know, the interesting thing about this campus, Carol, is that it's tucked, between Ling Creek and, I mean, and up, pretty close to the railroad tracks. I'm not saying you would miss it if you didn't know it was here, but it's in an interesting location. I actually really enjoy where it is. I'm sure you hear a few trains from now, from time to time, but it's in a really neat location.
Well, the nice thing I think about this campus is we are really in the heart of the community. Right. So we are able to serve pretty much all areas of Marshalltown. It's a short drive or bike ride or walk to get here. We're right next to the trail as it goes through the community. In fact, a lot of people use the Y as kind of their stopping point, getting on or off of the trail, which is very nice. And of course, our students that are part of our Fit Kids program after school or part of our summer day camp program or preschool program, they use the trail a lot. And of course, walk over to Mega 10 and enjoy the Mega 10 park as well. And of course, we're right next to the Outdoor Aquatics Center. That has been a partnership between the Y and the city since that opened. The Y actually owns the ground that the Outdoor Aquatics Center sits on, and the city owns the facility. We work together to jointly manage that facility, so that's been a great partnership and also a good location.
Yeah, oh yeah, great location. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more. We have Carol Hibbs, the CEO of our YMCA, YWCA. We'll be back with more right after this.
Wait. Put your seatbelt on. Oh. Buckle up. Arrive alive.
Can you take this away? I don't feel safe with the gun in my house.
Welcome back to Discover Marshalltown. Carol Hibbs is the CEO of our YMCA, YWCA, and we are here actually at the YMCA, YWCA today. And let's talk about some of the health-based programs that you have here that I didn't know about till you told me off the air, and maybe they don't get the publicity of some of the other programs.
Well, certainly. The National YMCA, our affiliation with the YMCA, they have been really supportive in helping Ys across the country support people who deal with chronic disease. So some of the programs that we've been able to offer to our community include Livestrong, and of course a lot of people are very familiar with Livestrong. That's a program that really helps cancer patients, cancer survivors. It helps them regain their strength, kind of reclaim their health as they're dealing with cancer and the after effects of some of the cancer treatments. So that's been a very, very good program for us to offer those in our community that are affected by that. And the thing about Livestrong is, in addition to the person who's actually dealt with cancer themselves, we also support the caregiver, because a lot of times the caregiver themselves also need some extra help. And so it's targeted to do both the patient and the caregiver, which is really nice.
Yeah, I've had Mike Donahue on the radio with me on my program probably a handful of times, and Mike is very involved with the Livestrong program, and he talks about it all the time. And now, you don't have to be a Y member to participate in Livestrong, do you?
No, you do not have to be a Y member. It's a 12-week program. It's free to the cancer patient survivor, and their caregiver. And so we have groups that are going on now this summer. We'll have groups starting in the fall. And it is free to all. We try and keep the groups fairly small, but we have multiple groups going on at the same time. So for those who would be interested, you can just call the desk here and find out information about when the next group is that starts and what you need to do to get on the list to be involved in that group. But I can speak from personal experience with my family that the information and the support that you get with Livestrong, not just from the staff who deliver, but from those you participate in the program with, is just tremendous. And it really does, I think, help people move on from cancer.
What about some of the other programs, people who might have joint pain or arthritis, and we all have a touch of arthritis, especially on a damp day like today. Can you talk about some of those programs?
Well, we've talked a little bit about some of the water classes that we have, and particularly those with arthritis, that warmer water in the recreational pool, that we keep that pool generally a little warmer. It's about 86, 87 degrees for our water arthritis classes. We do have another class that particularly helps especially seniors with some joint pain, and that's called Enhanced Fitness, and that helps if you have some balance issues or if you're dealing with chronic joint pain. It helps you kind of learn to exercise and reclaim a little bit of your mobility that you may have lost because of some of the joint problems. Mm-hmm. And then one of the other programs I want to mention is our diabetes prevention program.
Right. Yeah, I meant to mention.
Yeah. Well, so diabetes prevention, sometimes this gets confused with folks that already have been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. This is actually for those who may have been to their doctor and their doctor said, if you're not careful, if you don't make changes, if you don't do something, you'll transition and get type 2 diabetes. So this program really has a high success rate of keeping people from transitioning to type 2 diabetes. And especially as you get older, the success rate with this program actually goes higher. So this is a good program if your doctor has said you need to make some changes or you'll end up with diabetes. And if you have a family history of type 2 diabetes or something like that, this is a really good lifestyle management program for you.
Okay. Yeah, I need to lay off the Jolly Ranchers myself. I'm eating those like they're going out of style. Let's go ahead and talk about the state swim meets that are annually held here in February. I typically think of people camping out in the parking lot in the cold weather here. But we have annually held our state swim meets and the YMCA state swim meets here as well, because we have an awesome facility here.
We do. We have, I think, of course, I'm a little biased. I think we truly have one of the best places in the state, especially for the spectators, to experience the state swim meet. Our volunteers do an outstanding job of running a meet alongside our staff. And then we have a pool in which there is not a bad seat in the house.
Yeah.
So literally every spectator here is right over the pool, and it's just a great championship atmosphere. And so we have been hosting state high school meets, both boys and girls, for a number of years. Both of those had contracts that ended this year, or the girls just this past year in 2017, and we are looking to renew the high school contracts.
Okay.
And so we're in the process of doing that right now with the boys. But as I mentioned, there is some competition in the state for that.
Of
you know,
course, yeah.
we had a 3-year contract most recently, and we will be seeking to renew that, and we hope to be able to announce that in the next few weeks or so.
Okay.
We will be the site of the YMCA State Swim Meet in 2018. And for those who forget, it kind of sneaks up on you, but it's always the first Saturday, always the first Sunday of March. So it's boys one day, girls the other day, and then they rotate the year. So sometimes, you know, we try and remind our hotels and restaurants and, you know, the gas stations, all of those businesses that will be affected by it. Of course, our Y members, you know, who are trying to find a place to park in the parking lot. We try and give them a heads up, hey, it's State Swim Meet weekend, but it's such a good thing for the community that we really try and make those people feel as welcome as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, Shelley Lechner. I've had Shelley as a guest many, many times on my radio show, and she's so fun, so funny, and very, very passionate about and I always ask her, I'm sure she's tired of me asking her this question. I'm always like, do you get the water really cold? Is it extra cold for the state swim meets? Because, you know, after watching Michael Phelps, I keep hearing that Olympic pools and for swim meets are colder because they swim better when it's colder.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's probably real tired of me asking that
Well,
question.
they do drop it a
She
few
says
degrees.
it's a little colder.
Slightly colder.
Slightly colder,
Yeah,
yeah.
not tremendously colder. Although you'd be surprised how much people notice the difference just a couple
Really?
degrees makes.
Okay.
Yes, and so once we start to drop that temperature down a little in anticipation of the meet coming up in the next day or two, people notice.
Really?
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about your staff. You have to have a large staff to facilitate the many things going on here. How do you know, like off the top of your yeah, you know when every program is, every date. But can you give me a ballpark figure?
Well, we have about 250 staff members here. It depends on the season, time of the year. Of course, when we have the outdoor aquatic center, all of those lifeguards are also Y staff people. So we have 250 to 300 total staff. Many of those are part-time. We have only about 25 or so full-time staff, but we have a large number of part-time staff of all ages. I mean, you'd be surprised. We have, you know, responsible 16, 17-year-olds, and then we have young at heart 70-year-olds that are on staff. So we have a little bit of everything, and actually are usually looking for someone, especially if you're trained as a lifeguard, to work lifeguard hours. So let me put a plug in for that.
There
We
you go.
we can always use good lifeguards of any age.
There you go. All right. The many programs that are offered here, I'm guessing you have some kind of brochure that you can hand to people at the door if they're not computer savvy. And we did mention at the beginning of this broadcast, most people nowadays are computer savvy. But is there some kind of a pamphlet or something that folks can get when they come in?
Sure. We have, if you come in the Horn Henry Center, come in right in the main lobby, and I'm still surprised by the number of people in Marshalltown who haven't visited us here at the Horn Henry Center or the Cultural Center, but just come in the main lobby, right inside the door, right to your right is a service desk. They have lots of information for you, brochures, guides for all the programs or brochures for specific programs. So everything you need is right
Everything
here.
you need,
And
okay.
you'll notice in the lobby here we have flyers in holders on the walls here. So lots of good information. And of course anyone can come if you haven't been here and want to take a tour. Anyone can come and take a tour. And if you do that, you usually can walk away with a free day pass to come back and give it a try.
Neat. All right. As far as membership is concerned, can you tell me what the prices are? And is there scholarship help?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
You want to
That
get that
is
out there right there?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
You want to talk
So,
about memberships
Yeah,
a little bit?
I will. Let me approach it from the scholarship
Okay.
aspect.
Excellent.
So, the Y is a nonprofit organization. So to earn our charitable status, part of what makes us a little different than a normal like recreational city rec center or just a for-profit gym is what we give back to the community. So as a Y, we give financial assistance back to especially kids, but families with kids and those in need who can't otherwise afford to come and pay the fees that you would normally need to pay.
Sure.
All of that is done based on a sliding fee scale unless you're a child that the school district has referred. So we have a very good partnership with Marshalltown School District and some of our surrounding school districts that if we get a word from a counselor, a principal, a nurse, a teacher, they say this child needs a membership to the Y, they can get a membership to the Y, no questions asked.
Okay.
So we have a great partnership. We try and make it very easy for those that really could benefit and need it, and we rely on the people that know them best to tell us that.
Okay.
And then otherwise, for families, for adults that want financial assistance for membership, we have a financial qualification process and sliding fee scale,
sure. Yeah.
so that whether you can pay some of that or 3/4 of it and need a little assistance, we adjust accordingly based on someone's income.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. We're out of time, Carol. Thank you so much for being my guest today.
Well, thank you for coming
this
and
is
visit
awesome.
us. Yeah.
Carol Hibbs joining us, and that is another Discover Marshalltown.